Module 3, Lesson 3.03, 8th graders. Okay, please have your notes out and be ready to pay attention because this is going to serve as 3.03. So if you are participating and attend this, you don't need to read through the lesson. You can if you want to, of course, but this will count as the quiz when you fill out the Google form. Okay, so let's get started. Do this week, 3.03, get verbal. Quiz by joining and participating. It will count as a quiz for 3.03. 3.04, using the ideas you previously wrote in your narrative organization chart, you will write the introduction, the exposition of your narrative story. Okay? So if you're attending and participating today and you fill out the Google form, we are knocking out 3.03 right now. And then what you'll have left is 3.04, which is the exposition for your story, okay? The narrative organizer that we worked on last week. Any questions on that before we get started? Awesome. Okay, if you have questions at the end, let me know, and of course you can stay. And I will be more than happy to help you with that. Okay? Remember, guys, we are wrapping up pretty quickly. There's about 6 or 7 weeks left in the marking period. Module 3 is our last module, okay? So make sure that you are on pace in not just language arts, but in all of your classes because this semester is wrapping up quickly. Another thing before we get started is that our homeroom lessons are on Thursday of this week. So check in with your homeroom teachers to find out when your meeting is for Thursday for your homeroom and make sure that you attend those, okay? My homeroom, I don't know, McKinley. We'll talk about that at the end because I think we said 10 o'clock for my homeroom. All right, so my homeroom, get with me towards the end, figure out what time is going to work for us. Okay, so let's get started. For all lessons, read through the lessons and take your notes, turn those objectives into questions, go to the gradebook and take the quiz / complete the assignments and repeat as necessary, okay? 3.03. So these are your objectives for 3.03. So get out that notebook paper and let's start taking some notes for 3.03, okay? After completing the lesson, you will be able to recognize parts of speech, explain the function of verbals, and identify verbals and their function in sentences. This is an exciting lesson on grammar today. Yay for grammar! Another reason why I wanted to do this in a live lesson is because sometimes this can be a really confusing topic. So I thought that we could go over it together. Okay, so everyone should be taking your notes. And what you want to make sure that you know is that we're looking at, for 3.03, parts of speech and verbals. So if I were taking notes right now, I would have written down 3.03, parts of speech and verbals. Because remember, you guys, you don't need to write everything that you see on the screen or everything that you see as you read through the lesson. You want to put the main points. So 3.03, I want to know at the end of 3.3, I'll have reviewed the parts of speech and the functions of verbals, okay? Smiley faces if we are ready to go and if you have that in your notes. I will have this available as a live lesson later on today as a recording. So if you get confused, you can go back and listen to the recording. You can also read through the lesson. Okay. So we know we're looking at parts of speech and verbals. So parts of speech. Parts of speech, hopefully, you have learned at some point in your career as a student. We are going to review those. If you are looking at these and you're going, oh my goodness, Mrs. Bailey, I have no idea what you're talking about, I want you to go through and read the lesson because the lesson does break down parts of speech. But I found this handy dandy little poem and I think it will help. I also put this on the pace chart. So you can copy this or you can print it from the pace chart as a good reminder. This is something you might want to keep with you for high school too. So every name is called a noun, as field and fountain, street, and town. In place of noun, the pronoun stands, as he and she can clap their hands. The adjective describes a thing, as magic wand or bridle ring. A verb means action, something done, to read and write, to jump and run. How things are done, the adverbs tell, as quickly, slowly, badly, well. The preposition shows relation, as in the street or at the station. Conjunctions join in many ways, sentences, words, or phrase in phrase. The interjection cries, "Hark! I need an exclamation mark." Okay? So, if you are like, I don't remember what a noun is, take a look at the first stanza. Every name is called a noun, as field, fountain, street, and town. Those are examples of nouns. And then we have our pronouns, he and she, our adjectives that describes things. The verb is action. Adverbs are quickly, slowly, badly, well. Preposition shows relation, as in the street or at the station. Conjunctions join in many ways, sentences, words, or, and phrase. The interjection cries out, "Hark! I need an exclamation mark." Interjection is anytime you need something with an exclamation mark, like "watch out." That's an interjection, okay? Hopefully, like I said, you guys, this is a review. If you're looking at these and your eyes are bleeding and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what a preposition is, you need to go back and reread the lesson, okay? How many of you, and please be honest, by smiley faces or frowny faces, have seen this before, with what a noun and a pronoun and an adjective and verb is? Okay, so smiley faces if we are comfortable with parts of speech. Okay. If you are not, this is where, as big 8th graders, you need to go back and review if you're not comfortable with this. Okay, so if you're looking at this and it's scary to you and it's not comfortable, please go back and read 3.03. It does break it down into more detail, okay, on what the nouns and pronouns and adjectives are. Just like when you were doing multiplication a long time ago in math, it's practice, you guys. You have to practice with the different parts of speech, okay? What questions do we have on parts of speech? Okay. If this poem helps you, print it out. Okay, it's on the pace chart. Thumbs up if this helped. Thumbs down if you're like, Mrs. Bailey, this is dumb. And I won't be offended, but I saw it and found it helpful. Okay, so it's something I should use with my other classes too, with my 6th and 7th graders. Okay, cool, awesome. When you're answering the quiz questions today on the Google form, please look back at this, okay? This will help you. And if you want to memorize it, it'll probably help you a lot. Okay, so we are going to leave parts of speech. If you need to learn more about parts of speech, please go back on your own. That's okay, Joey, and thank you for being truthful. It's okay. Okay, so verbals. Now, everybody take a deep breath. This is not as confusing as it sounds, I promise. And our key to learning verbals is examples. So this is directly from the lesson. Verbals are verbs acting as nouns. Are verbals called gerunds. G-E-R-U-N-D-S. It's pronounced gerunds. I believe it's French. So it's verbs that act as nouns. So on that paper and pencil, I want you to write gerund and that they're verb forms that end in ing. Okay, so you're writing that gerunds, G-E-R-U-N-D-S, are verbs that end in ing. Okay, so we're writing that down. What I want you to know is they work as nouns in the sentences which they are being used, okay? So they're verbs, but they work as nouns in the sentences being used, okay? So let's look at our examples. Fishing with my family is one of my favorite pastimes, okay? So fishing is a gerund. It's a verbal that's acting as a noun. For my birthday, I went roller skating with my friends. There's another gerund. It's roller skating. It's a verb acting as a noun. Selling handcrafts is a way I can earn money for college. It's another gerund. Okay? Here's your tip. Not all verbs ending in ing are gerunds. They also have to be used as nouns. Yet a verb ending in ing may still be a verbal. See the next tab. Okay. So what I want you to write down is what a gerund is and the examples. Okay. So everybody give me a thumbs up when you've written down what a gerund is and the example. Happy birthday, guys, but we need to stay focused. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next thing. It will make sense as we go, I promise you guys. Just take the notes for right now. Participles. Verbs acting as adjectives are verbals called participles. Participles are verb forms that function as adjectives, descriptive words and phrases. The endings ing, ed, or en can help you identify participles. They come in two types, present and past. Okay? So, I want you to write down participles and that they're verb forms that function as adjectives or descriptive words. And then you need to know that there's present and past. So they can end in ing for present and past ed or en. So everybody write that down. And you guys, I promise that by writing this down, this will help you on the quiz and the DBA and the final exams. Okay? You need to have this written down because it's not something that we work with all the time. By writing it down, you'll have notes to refer back to. So our examples. Would you help me find my running shoes? Okay, that's present participle, describes the shoes. Be careful when you pour the boiling water into the pan. Present participle describes the water. Okay, it's describing the water. The laptop was broken. Past participle describing the laptop. The mashed potatoes were tasty. Past participle describing the potatoes. Okay. So make sure you're writing down participle and whether it's past or present and examples. Okay. The best thing you can do, you guys, for this is to have your examples to refer back to and understand that participles, it acts like an adjective and describes its descriptive words and phrases. Okay, smiley face if you took your notes and you're good with that. Remember, if you still need time, I can go back at the end and the recording will be available too. Okay, the more that we work with this, the more sense it will make. All right, the last one is infinitive. It's the verb in its simplest form is an infinitive verb. Infinitives acting as nouns, adjectives, or adverbs are verbals. So we want to write down what an infinitive is, and it's acting as nouns, adjectives, adverbs, or verbals. So there are three types: nominal, is an infinitive acting as a noun. The example is to travel the world would be my dream come true. Our town is planning to create a skate park. You can see the to. The to is a hint that it's an infinitive. Adjective infinitive verbs is an infinitive acting as an adjective. It directly follows a noun it describes. My first attempt to bake a cake was a disaster. I have the strength to reach my goal. Adverbial infinitive is an infinitive acting as an adverb. So you're looking at in order for that one. To build this bookshelf faster, let's try working together. We must leave now to reach the bus on time. So for an adverbial infinitive, your hint is in order. Okay? In order to build this bookshelf, we must leave now in order to reach the bus on time. So we're looking at what they're describing. So make sure you have this in your notes too, guys. And then, as someone pointed out earlier, we all learn differently. So if taking the notes didn't really help you, this may help you kind of understand it a little bit more. Here's a chart on verbals. A word or phrase formed from a verb but functioning as a different part of speech. You have your gerunds, it's a noun, participles, which is present and past, and your infinitives, which is when a verb functions as an adjective, adverb, or noun. So if you look at this slide and it makes more sense to you, then this is what you can copy down in your notes. Because we all learn differently and things make sense to us differently. Okay. What questions do we have on this? And Caitlin and Fino, no side conversations because you'll be removed. Okay, I should not have side conversations. No. If it happens again, you will be removed from the chat. You'll be removed from the live lesson. And it was Caitlin T. Not you, Caitlin M. It was a different Caitlin. All right, question. Go ahead and put your question in, please. Yes, I will, sweetie. No problem, Caitlin M. Okay. So now this is when we are going to practice. Okay. So this is right from your lessons, and we are going to practice this together. Okay? And you are going to tell me if this is a noun, adjective, verb, or what. So when we look at the word narrative, writing a narrative, is that word a noun, a verb, an adverb, or an adjective? The word narrative. Noun, verb, adverb, adjective. Okay, now, so we're going to make that noun, person, place, or thing is your narrative, okay? Can be both fun and challenging. When you want to write a story, the only limit to your imagination is your vocabulary. You can be as creative as you'd like, even down to the tools you use. While many writers use computers, some prefer fancy. Okay, so what's fancy? Is that a noun, verb, adjective, adverb? And noun, verb, adjective, adverb. Okay, we're right on adjective. Why? Why isn't an adjective? You're right. Tell me why. Fancy. Good job, Dalen. It describes the type of writing. Excellent. Okay. And then we have struggle. Is struggle a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb? Struggle. Noun, verb, adjective, adverb. Verb, because it's action. Okay. To reach perfection, some will revise endlessly. Noun, verb, adjective, adverb. Endlessly. Noun, verb, adjective, adverb. That's an adverb. Okay, it's describing the verb. Okay. Yet for those who face and beat those challenges, to write a story and have someone else enjoy it is rewarding. So the word it. Noun, verb, adjective, adverb, pronoun. Noun, verb, adjective, adverb, pronoun. It. Good job, Katie. Katie T, way to go. It's pronoun, guys, it. Okay, pronoun is it. All right. So some of you, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Other people, you need to work a little bit on that. Okay? So now, we're going to take a look at our notes because this is even harder. Gerund, participle, or infinitive. Okay, so take a look at your notes and let's look and see on the first one. So the first one, writing. What kind of verbal is writing? Gerund, infinitive, participle. Good, Liam. Why? It's a gerund. Why? Because ing. Good. Yes. Okay. When you want to write a story, the only limit to your imagination is your vocabulary. Write. To write. What verbal is to write? The key to that one is the to. Nope. Look back. Oh, Dalen, yes. Infinitive. Look at your notes. When it uses to, it's an infinitive. While many writers use computers, some prefer fancy writing, pens, and paper. Writing, pens, and paper. So writing, is that past or present? That gives you a hint. Present. Good. So it would be participle. Okay. The challenging part differs for individual writers. Challenging, ing. What tense is it? Present or past? No, it's not a gerund. It's present, and that would give you a clue that it is participle. Present participle, yes. Okay. To reach, perfection. To reach. If we have to, what kind of gerund is it? Infinitive. I always think to infinity and beyond. So if you see to, think of Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond, and it's infinitive. Okay? You won't forget it though now. So if you see to, think to infinity and beyond, and it's infinitive. So the last one, yet for those who face and beat those challenges, to write a story and have someone else enjoy it is rewarding. To write is what? You should all know this one. Good. Infinitive. To write. To infinity and beyond. Okay? So if it's a Buzz Lightyear, it's infinitive. To infinity and beyond. If it's in the present or past, it's participle. Okay? And ing, you're wanting to do gerund. Okay? There are always exceptions to those rules, but those should help you. All right, guys. Smiley face if you've at least learned a little bit about verbals. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you the quiz. Okay. First, go to 3.01, the narrator of the story quiz. Oh, this isn't you guys, is it? Okay, so we're 302 and 304. All right. So you have, this week for you guys is 303 and 304. Okay, 303 is what we're doing now. So when you fill out the Google form that I'm giving you right now, that will count as 303. And 304 is your introduction to your essay, or your introduction to your narrative. All right, I'm going to turn off the chat. What